glorified. What do
Yeah.
you mean by that?
Can we describe the Son of Man as the most glorified human figure?
Sure. Yeah. What verse are you referring to? I need to know what
Okay.
specifically
Well,
verses you're bringing up.
that's all I just from the cumulative case that Jesus makes in the Gospels about the Son of Man. He's the most glorified. Awesome. Now,
Sure.
according to German scholarship, according to Adela Collins, E.P. Sanders, Bart Ehrman, and Rudolf Bultmann, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct figure from himself, coming, sitting on the right hand of God?
According to those scholars, but not according to Mark.
Okay, according to that scholarship, did Jesus speak of the Son of Man as a distinct future figure who will sit on the right hand of God and bring God's kingdom?
As I said, according to those scholars, but not according to the Gospel of Mark, as Aaron even admits.
All right, so that's a yes. Beautiful. So that's the scholarly position of those scholars. Beautiful.
It's one, yeah.
What does Ahmed mean in Arabic?
Most praised one, I believe.
Most glorified. So you mean to tell me that in scholarship, Jesus spoke about somebody who's Ahmed, the most glorified, as a distinct figure who will come in the future distinct from himself?
This is about Muhammad in the Bible, not what these scholars say.
Can you answer that? According to these scholars, did Jesus speak about Ahmed, distinct Son of Man figure who will come in the future sitting on the right hand of God?
No, they did not speak about Ahmed. They spoke about the Son of Man.
Did you say the Son of Man is the most glorified?
He is the most glorified in the Gospels. Yeah.
Does Ahmed mean most glorified?
If you say so.
Thank you very much. That's the debate, ladies and gentlemen. IB says that Ahmed will come according to this scholarship. Thank you very much.
All right, are you going to let me actually respond now instead of letting you let me respond? Because Ehrman says in his book when Jesus became... You going to let me respond now? Okay, Ehrman says in his debate book, when did Jesus become God? I think you need to understand that for Mark himself, the author of this gospel, Jesus is the Son of Man. Jesus is coming back in glory. Those scholars you're citing are saying that the historical Jesus said the Son of Man was distinct. But that's not what is presented in the gospel. The debate topic is Muhammad in the Bible, not is Muhammad in the works of Bart Ehrman. So can you stay on topic, please?
Yeah, that's a non sequitur, but I'm going to deal with that because we don't have a lot of time. All right. Okay. So in John 41, does Jesus fulfill that?
John 41?
The one who ate my bread will turn against me. Did Jesus fulfill John 41, verse 9? The one who ate my bread will turn against me, according to John 12.
There is no John 41.
Sorry. Psalm 41. Psalm 41 and John 12. Psalm 41, my bad.
So Psalm 41.
Yeah. The one who ate my bread will turn against me. Typologically.
In a typological sense, yeah.
Does he fulfill the context?
He fulfills that typological aspect.
I didn't ask that. Does he fulfill the context?
I don't know.
He doesn't feel... Okay, well, let me help you. In verse 4, the same speaker says, Lord, forgive me for I have sinned against you. Does he fulfill that?
Well, no, because he didn't sin.
Oh, okay. So Jesus fulfills a verse out of context?
I know he fulfills stuff typologically. So it's
okay. Is that out of context? Is that out of context? Is that out of context? Though?
What is out of context? This doesn't make any sense.
Does Jesus only fulfill one verse out of the context?
Yes, because it's a typology. Yeah.
Okay, so you could fulfill a prophecy out of context, right?
Typologically, yeah.
Beautiful. Now, the prophecy you make fun of in Isaiah 29, where the book is given to one who cannot read, saying, read this, he will say, I cannot read. The context doesn't allow for the Prophet Muhammad. But can the Prophet Muhammad fulfill that typologically? Does he fulfill that typologically?
If you're going to use Islam typology, sure, but that's assuming Islam and then reading it into the Bible. Right. That's circular.
So the Prophet Muhammad fulfills Isaiah 29 typologically, and I'm justified in thinking that as a Muslim, right?
Within Islamic theology, sure.
Thank you very much. So he concedes that the Prophet Muhammad fulfills typology. Nice.
All right. If you're going to assume Islam and then use that to read the Bible, sure, but that's circular. If you want to do that, you want to admit it's circular, go for it.
Where is the prophecy that Jesus will be called the Nazarene?
So it's a typological fulfillment, I believe, in Isaiah 11.
Isaiah 11, right? Do Netzar and Nazarene, are they the same thing or are they two different words?
They're two different words, sure.
They're two different words. Okay, and he only fulfills that because it's a play on words, right? And it sounds the same.
Yeah, it's play on words. Matthew liked to do that. Okay. Jews at the time liked to do that, yeah.
All right, so let's go to the same prophecy you always make fun of. Songs of Solomon, it says Muhammadim or Mahmadim. Does that sound similar to Muhammad?
Phonetically, sure, whatever.
Okay, so then that's a typological fulfillment as well, right?
If you're going to assume Islamic theology and then read that into the Old Testament, then yeah, but that's circular. Awesome. That's what that is by definition, dude.
So Matthew's being circular, right?
Yeah, that's actually what happened. Yeah, that happened.
Matthew's circular, ladies and gentlemen. All right, fantastic.
Sure,
is the kingdom of God monotheistic?
Sure, yeah.
Under classical logic, are there 3 gods?
Depends on how you formulate it. And that has nothing to do with the topic.
Yeah, it does. You said the kingdom of God is monotheistic, so Daniel's kingdom is supposed to be monotheistic. Under classical logic, if we counted the same way we count everything else, are there 3 gods?
Depends on how you're defining identity. It depends. And this has nothing to do with Muhammad.
I said under absolute identity, are there 3 gods?
Define absolute identity. Give me a rigorous definition, because that's not a what? Go ahead.
Under classical identity, are there 3 gods? Leibniz
again,
law.
You need to define. Give me a rigor.
Leibniz's law. Under Leibniz's law, are there 3 gods?
It's irrelevant to the topic. This is not Tawhid versus Trinity. So you can actually keep on topic.
No, under Leibniz, I'm gonna ask again. Under Leibniz's law,
you can ask me again, but it doesn't have anything to do with the topic.
So you're not gonna answer? Okay.
No,
sure.
it's not about the topic. All right. Show me Muhammad's in the Bible. What is this? What are you doing?
All right, beautiful. No, it is on topic because the kingdom of God is supposed to be monotheistic. Did you admit in a clip that if we counted using the CCM under classical logic and the primitive notion of identity, classical identity, would there be 3 little g gods? You admitted that, right?
No, because that's taking things out of context. That was according to how he was defining identity. Can you debate the topic and not try to bring up past things?
So under that, there are 3 gods, right? Under that regimentation of identity, there's 3 gods, right?
Depends on how you define it. I don't even remember the conversation.
It depends, guys. So there's a sense. There's a sense in which there's 3 gods. Thank you so much, Michael Jones.
You can define identity in such a way that it just doesn't make sense. And then when you define identity, let me answer my question.
The kingdom of God is 3 gods.
He doesn't want me to answer because he knows I'm going to show this nonsense.
Guys.
All right.
Let me pause the time. It's extremely difficult to hear the responses to these questions when I understand, you got your energy going and stuff. Let's try to allow them to answer the questions, all right?
All right. Beautiful. The next question is, according to our 7th century Syriac texts, who subjugated and defeated Rome?
7th century Syriac texts? I don't know.
Yes,
I've not read
the
them.
The Khuzestan Chronicle. It's a Christian chronicle, Syriac Christian chronicle, and the letters of Ushayab III, which I showed on my presentation. According to what I read, who destroyed and subjugated Rome?
Well, they incorrectly would say the Caliphate. Then they would incorrectly say that.
All right,
Rome still existed after that.
All right, Muslims destroyed Rome. Beautiful. According to modern scholarship and historians, who destroyed Rome?
Depends on who you're talking to.
Do you have any scholar who says that Rome wasn't destroyed in 1453?
Yeah. Edward J. Watts says it was destroyed in 1204 in his recent book from last year, The Romans.
Edward who?
Edward J. Watts, his book, The Romans. It's up-to-date scholarship.
On what grounds?
Do you know what happened in 1204, for example, is when the Latin Crusaders came in and they destroyed Constantinople, sacked it, set up the Latin Empire, and then Rome split into distinct factions. You had the Despotate of Trebizond, you had the Empire of Nicaea, the Empire of Trebizond, and even at the time, Constantine Lascaris said that this was basically the end of the Roman Empire. So it split into these distinct factions.
Oh, beautiful. According to Daniel himself, splitting into fractions, does it make you a different kingdom?
No, not necessarily, no.
Oh, beautiful. So Rome wasn't finished. Thank you very much. So under Daniel's view, who destroyed Rome?
Well, then no one has yet, because when the Western Empire split it, they split in all these different kingdoms and they just existed.
Mike, does Rome
according to Daniel, then yeah, they still exist.
Mike,
based on what you just said,
what did I say,
distinct
Mike?
kingdoms that came. Are you gonna let me answer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Based on that, if splitting into different smaller kingdoms means it's still Rome, then by that logic, the kingdoms that came out of the Western Roman Empire are still Rome. So, okay, sure.
Yeah.
They're still Rome, according to Daniel then.
Yeah. Splitting into smaller kingdoms was still attributed to the kingdom before that they are collectively a part of, according to Daniel. So, for example, how does Daniel consider that Babylon was destroyed?
I believe
how was Babylon
the
destroyed?
Medes and Persians.
Yeah,
the
but
Medes and the Persians.
What's the metric? How was Babylon destroyed?
The Medes and the Persians came in, conquered the whole land, and set up their own empire.
Oh, conquering the whole land means you destroyed? Thank you very much. Did the Muslims conquer the whole land of Rome?
No, no, they did not.
The Muslims didn't conquer the Eastern Empire, and that where Rome had no more land?
Well, they didn't conquer the western parts, no.
Wait, you just said that Eastern Rome lost at its capital in 1453, right? Did they have any more land?
Well, yeah, actually they did. Because when the Ottomans came in, they didn't claim to end the Roman Empire. They claimed to just inherit the Roman Empire. And George of Trebizond said that Mehmed II was the real Roman Empire.
That has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with. Are you saying that? Are you saying that the Ottomans were Rome?
They claim to be, yeah.
The Ottoman Empire is the Roman Empire?
You can laugh at it and make fun of it all you want. That's what they claim. They called themselves Kaisers-i-Rum. They called themselves Kaisers-i-Rum.
Roman Empire, ladies and gentlemen, man.
Let me read a quote here. Okay, so this is from Crick Wickham of
No, you're not here to read quotes. You're here to answer questions.
All right, I'm just saying the Ottomans did not claim to end the Roman Empire. They claimed to become it. That's important.
They became Rome, right? Okay, Ottomans are Rome.
That's what they claimed.
That's fine. Let's read this for you.
It's different than the Persians and the Medes and the Macedonians.
No worries, man. No worries. Here, okay? Let's read this for you. Here we go. Right. So Edward Gibbons, let's see what he says. He says, from an humble origin, the Ottomans arose, the scourge and the terror of Christendom. Constantinople was besieged and taken by Muhammad II, and its triumph annihilates the remnant, the image, the title of the Roman Empire in the East. What is Edwin Gibbons here? Is he saying that Rome was destroyed by the Muslims?
He's an extremely outdated historian, possibly, but he's inaccurate. Yeah, very
okay,
outdated.
So then, according to this scholarship, Islam fulfills Daniel, right?
Well, no, because he said that Rome really fell in 476, and that was the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah, he says the remnant of Rome in the East, and according to Daniel, a remnant of an empire is the same empire. So answer the question. According to this scholarship, does Islam fulfill Daniel?
No, because the remnants were still in the West, and they had broken up, which you acknowledge were still the Roman Empire, according to Daniel. So no.
So what constitutes a remnant? Because you seem to be equivocating.
Well, you said it's when kingdoms split. So you said when Daniel talks about them dividing.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. So in Daniel 8, Alexander's kingdom splits into 4, but it's the same beast, it's the same animals, the same kingdom. They are just 4 kings from the same kingdom, right?
Yeah, I'm willing to grant that, sure.
All right. Under what metric is that the case?
Well, they claim to continue his work. They were still technically of the same ethnicity, of that Macedonian lineage. So you can make that argument there.
Sorry, having the same ethnicity means that. Okay, cool. So under the Medo-Persians, the Babylonians have the same ethnicity?
Under the Babylon, I mean, sure, but they weren't ruling at that point.
Oh, okay. So then the metric has nothing to do with ethnicity. What is the metric?
Metric for the end of the it does, because again, it's about who's ruling.
For the 4 split kingdoms, for the 4 split kingdoms being part of the 4 of the whole kingdom, what is the metric?
I told you, it's so the rulers come in, they're Macedonian, and they set up their distinct empires and are still ruling as Macedonians.
Okay, cool. So how is that the case with the Roman Empire?
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay. So the Roman Empire was destroyed.
Well, no, because by the time the Byzantines were there, they were a different people. Empire, they were a different ethnicity. They were a different language.
Mike, is the Roman Empire gone today, or is it still here?
Depends on who you ask. Russia says there's still continuation.
I'm asking you, Mike.
Yeah, I said it ended in 1204. So I think is the best way to set that date at.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So actually that fulfills Daniel, because Daniel doesn't require Rome to be fully complete. It just requires that Islam is the next superpower. As you see in the statue, when the statue is destroyed, it turns into Shaf, right? It says that it was like Shaf, and the air came and took it away. So then, does Islam,
didn't destroy it.
Let me finish. Does Islam come after the Roman Empire and weaken the Roman Empire and take more land than the Roman Empire did in 70 years than the Roman Empire did in 800 years?
No.
They don't,
because it didn't take it all, and actually the Holy Roman Empire was the reformulation of the Western.
I didn't say that. Were they the next power block super empire?
Sure, but that doesn't fulfill Daniel then.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
That's time right there. That's time. That's time right there.
We'll get,
all right,
we'll
Mike.
back
All right, Mike. You have 15 minutes to cross-examine Orthodox, and I will start your time as soon as you ask your first question.
All right, excellent. Okay, so when did the Roman Empire end?
According to scholarship, what I'm seeing, it fully ended in 1453.
What is the metric they use to say that's the end of the Roman Empire?
I'm not a historian. I don't know.
So you don't know. So the only metric
I can't tell you what metric. I could tell you what I observe, right? But I'm not a historian, so I can't tell you what metric. I would assume it would be the end of their governance. It would be the end of their rule. It would be the end of their image. It would be the end of their systems or governmental systems, and the end of their authority.
Didn't the Ottomans just adopt all of the key administrative structures of the Roman Empire?
Let me finish my answer. Thank you very much.
Let's allow him to complete his answer.
Yeah. Okay. But according to Daniel, because we're dealing with Daniel, the conquering of Rome is that of the conquering of Greece, is that of the conquering of Medo-Persia, is that of the conquering of Babylon. And I see no difference between what happened to Babylon and what happened to Rome.
Did Muslims conquer the traditional land of Rome then?
Depends on what that means. What does that mean?
Italy.
Traditional land. Who says that's the traditional land of Rome?
That's where they got started. That's where Rome is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so where they got started means that this is what it means to be Rome?
I'm asking, you said they had to conquer the land. So did the Muslims conquer all the land of Rome?
No, they didn't conquer all the lands. They conquered most of the lands.
Okay, thank you. So they didn't actually conquer the Roman Empire.
Let me finish. I'm answering.
I'm moving on. We're done. I need to move on to other questions.
You're letting me. I'm going to answer. Thank you very much.
Hurry up.
All right. So the Muslims conquered what was left of Rome, the Constantinople, and that area of Eastern Europe. They conquered it all, and Rome was no more, according to what scholarship says. Yeah.
Did the Ottomans claim to end the Roman Empire?
Yes, they did.
No. Okay. Well, that is false. But we can move on. Yeah. What was one of the titles the Ottoman sultans had for themselves? Are you aware that it was Kaiser-i Rum, Caesar of Rome?
Yep.
Okay. When the Roman Empire broke up, and the Ottomans conquered that, does that mean they conquered the Roman Empire, according to you?
Broke up what? What are you referring to?
In 1204.
I'm not aware. I'm not aware what you're referring to.
Yeah, I know you don't know the history. What about the Western Roman Empire? Did that reformulate into the Holy Roman Empire?
The Holy Roman Empire?
Yeah, did that not reformulate into the Holy Roman Empire?
In what year?
Under Charlemagne, so in the early 800s.
In the early no, that wouldn't be Rome that Daniel described.
That wouldn't be Rome? So if it breaks up into distinct pieces, it's no longer Rome then?
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with the Fourth Roman Empire. That is the beast.
Excellent. So when it breaks up, it's no longer Rome. Good. Glad to know we've conceded
that's not what I said. Mike Jones, that's not what I said. You said when it broke up and reformed in the 1800s, right?
No.
Anything?
That's when the Holy Roman Empire ended.
You just said it right in the 1800s, but Rome.
No, I said 800 under Charlemagne.
Let me finish. Rome. When the western part of Rome was demolished by the barbarian tribes in the 5th century in 479, I believe, there was no more Western Rome. It was all taken over by the barbarian tribes.
So when they destroyed that means that's the end of the Western Roman Empire because they broke up into smaller kingdoms?
Sorry, say that one more time.
When that happened, that means that was the end of the Western Roman Empire because they broke up into smaller kingdoms?
Just the West, but not the end of Rome.
Okay, so when the East breaks up into smaller kingdoms, that's also the end of the Roman Empire in 1204, correct?
When you say broken into smaller kingdoms, according to what?
According to history.
Remember,
smaller kingdoms.
Remember,
different emperors. Emperors ruling over different areas.
The Byzantine Empire was finished in 1453. Nobody disagrees. Nobody disagrees.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that the Eastern Empire was finished in okay, what happened in 1453, Mike Jones? Actually,
Ottomans claim to. So I'm asking questions here. So I want to continue on this. That's why the Western Roman Empire. Yeah. Hold on, I'm asking questions. When the Western Roman Empire split into smaller kingdoms, you said that's the end of the Western Roman Empire.
What's the smaller kingdom?
Why would not that be? Let me finish my question. Yeah. When the Eastern Roman Empire broke up into smaller kingdoms in 1204, why is that not the end of the Eastern Roman Empire?
What? Breaking up into smaller kingdoms means that the kingdom is finished?
That's what you said about the Western one.
That's literally the opposite of what I said. According to Daniel, breaking up into smaller power blocks does not mean that now the whole beast is destroyed. That's just not what Daniel says. And I can refer to Daniel chapter 8.
So then you would agree that the Western Roman Empire continued as those other kingdoms and was never destroyed by Islam?
No, the Western Empire... One sec. Can you pause the time? My camera died, man. Hold on. One sec. Pause the time.
He's getting his camera back together. I guess I'll go over some announcements here. We are going to be having the Gospel Truth Conference is coming up soon, guys. Only in a couple of days. This conference is, I think, going to be the best theological debate conference ever. That's my opinion. Obviously, I'm biased. But I think it's going to be fantastic. I got some of the heavy hitters coming. So it looks like Orthodox is back. So we'll get back into it.
Can you hear me?
When you're ready.
All right.
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. Sorry. Carry on.
Okay. So again, if the Western Roman Empire broke up, according to Daniel, that would still be the continuation of that empire. Why would? Okay. So then for the East, are you saying that's the same thing?
Again, you're equivocating. The breaking up of smaller kingdoms is still a part of the bigger kingdom, that now where the bigger kingdom is now divided and being ruled by multiple different kings under different jurisdictions. Beautiful. That's not the same as the Western. Can you stop with the ad-libs? That's not the same as Western Empire being taken over by the Visigoths and being destroyed, and then the Holy Roman Empire now comes around. This is not the same at all.
So when outside people come in and take over the entity, that means that empire is ended.
That's just not what I said. You're not tracking. So I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it for you one more time. My metric and my standard is exactly what Daniel says. Daniel had Babylon. Babylon was succeeded by Medo-Persia. Medo-Persia was succeeded by Macedonian Greece. Macedonian Greece was succeeded by Rome. Okay, now if we go to Daniel 8, Macedonian Greece splits up into 4 power blocks, but Daniel still considered it to be the same exact beast, just split up. So the same metric that I'm using for Daniel is the same metric I'm using for Islam and the Roman Empire.
Great. So when the Roman Empire split up in the West, it continued on then by that metric, according to Daniel.
No, it didn't continue on because the whole Western Empire was demolished. And what continued, the kingdom wasn't finished. What continued is the eastern part, Byzantium, which continued for 1,000 more years. There was no more Western Rome.
Yeah, but you said that when it broke up, it's a continuation of the kingdom, like with Macedonia. So why isn't when the Western kingdom breaks up, it is just a continuation, and then it just reformulates as the Holy Roman Empire?
Because it didn't just break up, it just was destroyed. It was finished. There was no more Western Rome.
According to who?
What came later has nothing to do with the Roman Empire.
Okay, so if an empire breaks up into smaller kingdoms and then reformulates later, it's no longer the Roman Empire.
That's again, Mike, you're not getting it, and you're equivocating on purpose because you're getting slapped. With all due respect, so I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Yeah. If you say so, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. The split in the West and the East happened at the end of the 3rd century. Then at the end of the 4th century, or sorry, at the end of the 4th century, at the end of the 5th century, Western Rome is no more because it was consumed by the Germanic tribes. But what continued on is Byzantium. There was no more Western Rome. That beast was just Rome, and that Rome was identified as Byzantium and was continued to be known as Rome. And I brought you the sources, like the Syriac sources say. They make no distinguishment between West or East. They call Byzantium Rome, the same Roman Empire that subjugated them for 500 years until the Muslims came with victory and kicked them out.
Question. If they're calling themselves Rome, that makes them Rome in the East?
That's not what I said. I didn't say just because
I'm asking a question.
Rome,
can you answer the question?
Nope, it's not, but it's a part of it. Why? Because they were identified as the same Roman Empire, not a distinct entity.
Okay, so then is that the case for what happened after the those rump states of 1204? Were they still the same Roman Empire?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Rump states.
When 1204, when the Latin Crusaders took over Constantinople and they broke up into the Latin Empire, the Despotate of Epirus, the Empire of Trebizond, and the Empire of Nicaea. Okay, which one of those is the Roman Empire at that point?
No, it would still be considered Rome, just like in Daniel 8.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one? All of them were considered the same beast. Bro.
Okay, so they're all Roman empires.
Mike Jones, Daniel 8 considers
answer the question.
4 kingdoms that split from Rome to be the same beast. So if a kingdom dissolves or is governed by different jurisdictions or splits up into smaller parts, it doesn't make it a different kingdom according to Daniel himself. So according to Daniel.
So according to Daniel, when the Western Roman Empire split up, it would be the continuation of the Roman Empire, just like what happened in the East later.
Right. Thank you very much. The Western Empire didn't just split up. It was consumed. There was no more Western Empire. There was just Rome. And that Rome was just Byzantium.
So then if it's consumed by outside people coming in, it's no longer Rome.
Did I say that?
That's what I'm asking, because that's what you imply.
Yeah, so if it was consumed, there was no more recognizable Roman entity. It was invaded by Germanic tribes, had nothing to do with the Roman identity, the Roman image, the Roman governance, nothing. They were a distinct people with a distinct governance, with a distinct identity. A distinct entity came and consumed the western part of Rome. Rome continued to be just Byzantium.
So then by that logic, when the Latin Crusaders came in and conquered Constantinople in 1204, that was the end of the Roman Empire because they were a distinct people.
Nope, because when that happened, according to you, they split into smaller sections of the same Eastern Byzantine Empire.
And that didn't happen in the West at all? There were no entities still calling themselves the descendants of the Roman Empire? It didn't happen in like Spain, for example, or any of that?
What, when the Visigoths took over?
Yeah, they claim to still be a part of Rome, for example. Like that's not the same thing?
Show the source where the Visigoths claim to.
I don't have it on me, but that's just basic history.
No, you just said the Visigoths and Germanic tribes claim to be Rome. Where is that?
They claim to be ruling over Rome.
No, you just lied. You said they claim to be. Nope. You said they claim to be Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that?
Okay, so I'm asking questions here, not you. Can we get back to this? So again, 1204. Where is the Roman Empire after that?
Out of your teeth?
Will you answer the questions? Across examining? Stop running, Libiano. Libiano, stop running and answer the questions.
All you want is running.
Answer the question.
All I'm getting is voice cracks and no substance.
Guys. Moderator talking. I'm gonna stop the time here. I'm gonna pause it. Let's get it. Let's settle down a little bit. Mike, I'm gonna let you go ahead and rehash that question one more time, and Libiano, answer it the best you can.
Okay, so again, where is the Roman Empire in 1205?
Okay, guys, so clearly Mike Jones got caught lying. So I'm going to repeat my answer again. The Eastern Rome, even if it's split into smaller jurisdictions, it doesn't mean that the Eastern Roman identity was destroyed. And according to scholarship, mainstream historical historians, they say that Rome was ended in the 1400s. Okay.
Why do
Very
they say
simple.
That? Why do they say that?
You're quoting.
Why do they say that? Is this cross-examination? Why do they?
Mike,
no,
hey, Karen,
no. I want an answer to that.
Karen, be quiet.
No.
I'm answering.
Why do they say that?
Karen,
come on, Ben. Stop running from the question. Stop running.
Karen is on her period and she doesn't want to let me talk.
Guys, let's chill out on the name calling and let's allow the proper conversation, guys. All right. So once again, go ahead, ask that question again, Mike. I guess the follow-up question, and Libiano, go ahead and answer the best you can.
Once again, why do historians say 1453?
I was answering, and Karen cut me off because she's on her menses. So I'd like to continue.
Man, I get desperate, man.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, why are you acting like the nice guy and you're ripping up Qurans? Please, don't give the nice guy act. Okay.
Show me one Quran.
Police be upon him and Quran being ripped.
Guys,
yeah, don't do the nice guy act.
Let's get back on track, guys.
Don't do the nice guy act.
Guys. Let's get back on track. Mike, ask the question again. Libiano, answer the question the best you can.
All right. Once again, let's stay on topic. Stop trying to wear the time down. Why do historians say the Roman Empire ended in 1453? What metric are they using?
I already answered this question. So as Edward Gibbon says here, here's the quote. I could read it for you. He says, from an humble origin, the Ottomans arose, the scourge and the terror of Christendom. Constantinople was besieged and taken by Muhammad II, and his triumph annihilates the remnant, the image, the title of the Roman Empire in the East. So the remnant.
So if that's true,
the title.
Hold up, I gotta ask a question, man. We're running out of time. Stop trying to wear the clock down. If that's true, why did the title of Caesars of Rome continue under the Ottomans?
Okay. Beautiful. So what Mike is saying, because Muhammad II, he says that he's the Caesar, right? That means that he thinks that he is a part of the Roman Empire?
That's what he claimed. Yeah, he claimed to inherit it.
Okay, beautiful. So if I say I'm the Pharaoh of today, that means I'm part of the Egyptian Empire?
Well, no, because you don't actually have a title or a claim to it. He actually had a claim to it.
Okay.
All right. That's beautiful, guys.
Yeah.
So he says,
all right, guys.
Mike.
That's time right there.
So,
I mean, if you guys want to carry this one on, we do have 30 more minutes of open discussion, open dialogue now. So let me get the timer set here real quick. Make sure I get it right so we don't go over time here. And I'm not sure who wants to begin the open dialogue, but
sure, I have a lot of things I didn't.
I want him to keep answering. He's not answering my questions. I need to know how he knows the Roman Empire in 1453.
We have 30 minutes, but remember, you said I didn't answer you when I had no time. You see how deceptive you are? You said, "Oh, he didn't talk about this and he didn't talk about that." So, anyways, you said that in Matthew. Let me address what you said. You said in Matthew, it says that God sent his armies. Unless you want to say that the Roman army is God's army. Interesting. Does God say that Assyria is the rod of his anger?
Yeah, he uses different armies, yeah.
Is it the rod of his anger?
Yeah, he uses different armies to allow
them so Assyria is God's arm? So Assyria is God's army?
That's not what that says. No, it's a rod of his anger. He's allowing them to go and do stuff. It says he's
the rod. Okay, so it's the rod of his anger, right?
Yeah, he's allowing that to happen.
So the rod belongs to God, right?
Yeah, but his army is the angelic army.
Oh, beautiful. All right, beautiful. So then the Assyrian army, that is the rod, belongs to God, right?
He allows all sorts of armies to do things, and then he says that he allows you to come in and do that. So what? That's not that does not show that's his army.
Thank you so much, Mike. So when it says that God sent the king sent his armies, it doesn't have any insinuation of the army being people of God or polytheists or not. God is using them for punishment, and in that sense, it is predicated onto God. Why? Because Paul also says that kingship and everything in the world belongs to God. Everything is God's.
You're making the point for me. You're making the point for me. We don't take these hyper literal readings. Thank you. That's what I wanted you to say. You're right. Matthew 21 and 22 parables are not hyper literal. There are approximations of the kingdom of God.
I never said they were hyper literal, whatever that means. Okay. But again, according to these Yeah, no, that's just a misunderstanding. I never said that you are to hyper literal. I don't think that every little detail maps out into reality, but we have no reason to reject the timeline that Jesus gives. What reason do you have to reject the timeline that's attested in both parables?
I told you, because the prior time before that, before the son and heir is killed, which I'm curious if you're going to try to argue that's John the Baptist, we'd only have to conclude prophets were sent twice. Please. Okay, and that does not map the Christian or the Islamic timeline. These are approximations, not accurate, not completely mapping on the reality perfectly.
How does that? So wait, so 1 second. So because it only mentions 2 sending of prophets, that means there was only 2 prophets?
No, there'll be 2 groups of them, according to you, if you want to take that hyperliteral reading of the timeline.
Oh, beautiful. But I'm not reading it that way. I'm asking you in terms of the events that happen. There's God assigns Israel, God sends Israel prophets, God punishes Israel. After God punishes Israel, guess what? God sends in the prophets to the Gentiles. Now you ask, well, why do we reject that this is not only 2 groups? Why? Because we have just...
Where does Matthew 21 say prophets are going to be sent to the Gentiles after? We didn't say that.
Let me finish. Because both parables are saying the same thing, right?
No, not according to you now. Now you just debunked yourself, because it doesn't say there were prophets sent after.
I didn't ask that. In Matthew 21 and Matthew 22... Okay, in Matthew 22, does God send his servants to the alleyways to invite anybody he could find?
Immediately after the city is destroyed, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Are the servants the prophets?
Possibly. Or they could be angelic messengers. There's different scholars that agree.
Okay, beautiful. So then God does send whoever the servants are, which according to majority interpretations of the prophets, how we know that? Because they are killed and rejected. So prophets,
every servant is a prophet?
Let me finish. I'm finishing.
Every servant?
Let me finish. Thank you. So as we know, God sends holy people and prophets to his people, and they reject and kill them. Anyway, that supports my point. So after that, God sends them after 70 AD. Is that correct?
He sends several people out after 70 AD. Sure, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. But you said he doesn't earlier. And you said, where does it say that?
No. Well, no, I'm talking about a specific prophet who's supposed to come. That's not what these are about. This is about God sending out servants. Okay, you've been talking a while. You got to let me talk now. Calm down. Calm down. You're going to get to talk in a little bit. You have to let me respond. Calm down. Okay. Anyway, again, it says servants generally. Again, these are approximations. There is no mention of some future prophet after that is going to deliver revelation. Why are you going these passages? They don't support your case. Or do you not believe in Surah 757 or Surah 61:6? These are not the
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michael Jones, for conceding that it does say that, because earlier you said it doesn't say that. Now you said, it says servants. Yeah, I agree. The Prophet Muhammad and the companions who fit the description of servants were sent, and guess what? They were sent after 70 AD. So now let me ask you.
Immediately after 70 AD, because that's the way these parables read. It happens.
Show me where it says immediate. Show me where it says. Show me where it says
That's the context. If you're preparing, it's in the context. If you're preparing a wedding feast, you don't let it sit for 600 years. I'm taking the hyperliteral timeline you want. We're going to go on that timeline. Has to happen right.
Verse, please, Mike. Verse.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I'll read it. Okay. So the king was angry, and he sent his troops to destroy those murderers, burn the city. Then he said to his servants, "The wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy." So as soon as it's destroyed, he then says, "Okay, it's ready. Go." So that follows.
Where does it say that it's immediate and has to happen right away?
It's in the context.
It's not. Can you show it?
Yes, I just read it for you, man.
No,
I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, guys, I didn't see immediate or right after. Where does it say that?
Oh, my gosh. That's an exact word fallacy, bro.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So there's nothing. You're just inferring that from the text. Thank you very much. Now,
that's what you're doing.
You said that Jesus was historically crucified and died according to the parable. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wait,
we're not moving on topic. We need to go. No, hold on. Are you gonna
let me reply to everything you said?
No, this is not how this is gonna work, sir. You brought up a topic. I want to go back to the Roman Empire. You still haven't answered me. How do you know it ended? No.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. So
all right, guys.
Mike is running, man.
Let's reel it in a little bit.
You don't want to deal with everything else you said?
we don't want to talk over each other, guys, because everybody's trying to listen to what you guys are saying, man. So let's be courteous and let's allow people to respond, and let's allow people to get their questions off as well.
Beautiful. So
let's be cool.
Again,
good.
Oh my God.
All
Again,
I'm saying,
you just wanted to talk about Matthew 22.
I'm gonna
now,
speak.
No, you're not going to speak. You just brought up the topic. We discussed it.
I'm going to speak.
No, you're not. No,
Mike,
you're not.
We be cordial?
No, you're not.
Mike, can
you
we be,
not.
Can we be
you're
cordial
not
so
being
we can
cordial.
Have a conversation?
I am
Let's
being
have a
cordial. We
conversation.
talked about Matthew 22.
Let's have a
wanted
conversation.
To. Now I want to talk
about
Daniel.
Guys, why is this guy manifesting?
I don't want to have to keep interrupting, man. I want you guys to be able to flow, man.
I know.
I
want to flow.
Okay, so let's try this, man.
He has all of these. He has all of these that I haven't responded to yet. He thinks that he's going to get away with saying all of this, and I'm not going to respond to it. That's not going to happen. I'm going to respond to everything he said.
For sure. I think that's only fair. But we have to allow everybody to ask the question and then respond to the question. Talking over and stuff, it's hard to understand what you guys are saying. So let's try again. Go for it.
Once again, we just talked about Matthew 22. I still need an answer on how you know the Roman Empire ended in 1453.
We're
Stop
not
running
done
from that.
Let me finish. You're the one running.
Okay, he's going to run from that. He can't answer me.
Let me finish, IP. You spewed a bunch of nonsense.
Conceded Daniel now. Thank you. I'm glad you conceded Daniel.
Can you stop talking while I'm talking? Thank you very much.
You've conceded Daniel. Mike, this is great. Go ahead.
We spoke about your gibberish nonsense. You said the Roman Empire is a Turkish empire. You should be ashamed of yourself because you're gonna be made a laughing stock. But remember, you said all of this and you uttered it, and I haven't responded to it yet. So let me respond to all the garbage that you spewed. All right. So you said that Jesus historically
doesn't want to talk about Daniel, guys. Just remember that.
No, I'm afraid of that. Oh, we spoke. All we've been doing is speaking about Daniel, but we haven't spoken about anything else. So can you
never answered my question. Let the record show you did not answer me on that. You did not answer me on the end of the Roman Empire. So just want everyone to see that you did not answer.
Guys, I'm going to be forced to cut this open dialogue short.
No. Don't cut it short. Just make sure that Mike Jones understands. Can you please pause it? Because the time is running and he's going to get away from this. Please pause the time.
Hold on.
Can you pause the time?
All right. Yes.
All right. Mike Jones made several points against me. I didn't even get to respond to a third, not even half of them. We've been speaking about Daniel the whole time. You've showed that you're an idiot, that you stick to fringe positions.
Wow, listen to that.
I want to address everything you said. I wrote it down. So why are you terrified of addressing everything you said? You thought you were going to get away with it? All right. So can we please get back to addressing everything you said?
No. That's not how this is an open dialogue. You brought up a topic. Okay. Now I like to talk about a topic. Wow. If you're going to run on that, just say you don't want to talk about Daniel. You need to do more research. Just say that. You don't know how to answer this stuff on Daniel.
All we've spoken about is Daniel, sir. We haven't spoken about anything Matthew. Else. We have just We just started like 5 minutes. We just started talking about. We just started, and we have everything else. We have Psalm 74. We have Malachi. We have all the garbage arguments.
Guys, listen up. Come on, if we can't dialogue correctly, I'm either going to put time bands on the response and answer. We're going to go back to old formal cross-X, or I'm just going to eliminate this portion of the debate and be done with it. So let's try.
I'm fine.
Best. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm fine if we just do 1 minute back and forth. If he's not going to answer my questions, I'm fine doing 1 minute times through the rest of this.
No. 1 minute is how he's going to run away with timing. Okay, so he's not going to run away behind the time. He's going to answer these points that he spewed, right? And then we can get to Daniel. We've spoken about Daniel. You've asked the same question over and over and over again for 15 minutes. I answered.
Okay,
so I want to get back to answering everything else.
How many more questions do you have for how many questions?
No, brother, I don't. It's not questions. He made some points in his rebuttal that I never got to address, and I'd like to speak about them.
Okay. All right. I'm allowing you time to go.
We've been speaking about Daniel the whole time.
Hold on. I'm trying to address it. I'm going to allow you to answer. I'm going to allow you to address those current concerns. Mike, just answer the questions the best way you can. And I'm going to allow you some time. But then I'm going to switch over to Mike, and Mike's going to have time to ask questions as well. Okay?
Sounds good.
I want to keep it as an open dialogue. I'm going to allow you your time, Nibiano, and go ahead and ask your question. And Mike, answer the best you can.
Good. Sure. All right. Can we start now?
Yep. Go for it.
All right. You said Jesus historically was crucified according to the criterions that I used, and he died, and this is problematic for my position. How so?
Because if you're going to use like criterion of dissimilarity, typical historical criteria, you need to accept other facts as well. And that, for example, meets criterion of dissimilarity, criterion of embarrassment, and many other aspects. So why would you only use it for the parables, but not for an historical fact that all historians accept?
Oh, okay. Beautiful. What is my position, Michael Jones?
Your position is that these parables somehow predict the coming of Islam.
No, I understand, but what is my position on the historical authenticity of the crucifixion of Christ?
Well, I don't know. You've not actually said it, but I'm curious. So why don't you tell me?
So how do you know that it refutes my position if you don't know my position?
Well, then tell me your position instead of just not saying it.
Oh, beautiful. So you don't know. All right. So so you said Jesus was historically crucified and died. My position is that's exactly what the Quran says in terms of the historical context. There's two claims the Quran makes. It makes a historical natural claim and a supernatural claim. The historical claim is that according to the attestation, people would have said Jesus died. But supernaturally, he didn't actually die, but he was raised. That's why the Quran says it was made to appear so. Now, Michael Jones, if the Quran says God made it appear
that's ad hoc, but okay, that's just ad hoc.
If the Quran, you asked for my position, you said this contradicts my position.
It's an ad hoc position. You can hold to it.
All right,
it's not
so let's see if it contradicts. You said it contradicts, Mike. Don't run. The Quran saying it seemed to appear so. Would we expect anybody to say that he wasn't crucified if the Quran said God made it appear so?
We would say that again. That doesn't make sense.
If the Quran, open up your ears. If the Quran says God made it appear so, do we expect any attestation to say otherwise?
To say that he wasn't? Yeah, absolutely. His disciples were to reported it.
Yeah, his disciples were there, and it was made to appear so. Are you stupid?
So his disciples didn't know the truth. They weren't actually teaching Islam. They were teaching Christianity. Great, that's great.
Guys, hold on. Guys, hold on. Just chill on the ad hominems, man. Just chill, man. You just have your conversing, brother.
I got you.
Just chop it up. Just chop it up, man. That's all you got to do.
All right, I got you. So Ibn Taymiyyah says that we have no problem saying that the earliest followers believe Jesus died. You said, you consider Christianity. No, because even according to Paul, the mere crucifixion doesn't establish Christianity. Christianity necessitates crucifixion. Crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity. So again, if God made it appear so, do we expect any attestation to say otherwise?
We would expect people that were preaching the beliefs of Islam, like the disciples, to say that he was taken to heaven.
That's not what I asked. I said, according to Islam, it was made to appear so. So according to Islam, it was made to appear so. Do we expect any historical attestation to say otherwise?
And I've answered you, yes, the people that were supposedly preaching Islam, like the disciples, for example, because the Quran says the disciples were Muslims. So therefore, they should be believing what Islam teaches, and they didn't say that. According to you, they were deceived. The Quran is wrong, and they thought Jesus was crucified.
So Mike, according to me, did the disciples think Jesus was crucified?
I don't know. You've not said your position. I'm curious if you contradict the Quran, but go ahead.
You just said if they were Muslim, that means they were preaching that he wasn't crucified. Is that what you just said?
That would be that'd have to be the case, because that's what the Quran says.
All right,
Muslims supposed to believe.
It doesn't follow, because the Quran never says the disciples knew that he wasn't crucified. Where does it say that in the Quran?
Oh, so they were preaching he was crucified.
They believed he was crucified, and that doesn't necessitate Christianity.
Okay, you guys heard it here. Libiano thinks the disciples were preaching Jesus was crucified. Okay,
that's exactly what Ibn Taymiyyah says.
People like Ibn Kathir under the bus, who said the disciples knew this. The disciples Ibn Kathir under the bus.
This is not responding. This is my position. Does this contradict Islam?
Yeah, it does, because the disciples are supposed to be Muslims. I just told you, you can believe what Islam teaches.
All right, what nullifier of Islam did they break?
They believe Jesus died.
Is that a nullifier?
Yeah, because according to you, the Quran doesn't say that. So they should be in a line with what Islam teaches. And you just God didn't reveal that until God didn't reveal that until the 7th century.
So again,
oh, so
what
he
is the
made
nullifier
Christianity
that they committed? Nope, because
again.
crucifixion doesn't necessitate Christianity.
Okay, well, you threw Ibn Kathir under the bus because he says the disciples knew what was going on.
That's not what I asked. Does the crucifixion necessitate Christianity?
It is definitely a necessary foundation for it. And the opposite is a necessary foundation for Islam.
I didn't ask that. I didn't say in Christianity is a crucifixion necessary. I said, does a crucifixion necessitate Christianity?
No.
Oh, so the disciples could have believed in a crucifixion and not been preaching Christianity, right?
And then they wouldn't have been Muslims. Yeah, sure.
Oh, really? Show me that in the Quran.
Yeah, because according to Islamic theology, Jesus wasn't crucified. And Ibn Kathir says they were in on this. They knew what was going to happen.
According to
according to you, they can't actually be Muslim because they're believing in something, a core doctrine of Christianity and not a core doctrine of Islam. Thank you for that. I'm glad you threw the disciples under the bus and admitted they are in line with Christianity.
According to Islam, one second, let me land here. According to Islamic doctrine, the disciples had to believe Jesus was crucified, and they're not Muslim if they didn't. Is that what you're saying?
They would not be believing in a core doctrine of Islam if they believed he was crucified.
Is it only a core doctrine after it's revealed or before it's revealed?
Well, it would have been revealed to them in the first century that
show me that in the Quran. That it was revealed in the first century.
So wait a minute. So we get this straight. So they were not actually preaching what is in the Quran. They were not actually preaching the You got to answer the question, man. This is open dialogue. Stop running. Okay,
Lana, answer the question. Lana, answer the question. Go ahead. Dialogue,
man. Yeah. So they were not actually preaching what the Quran teaches. You heard that from Libiano, folks. Thank you for that. I'm really happy to know the disciples were preaching a lie. They were preaching a lie according to Libiano.
Because the Quran says it was made to appear so. So the disciples.
Oh, okay, so they weren't preaching it was made to appear so. They were preaching he was. Notice that. They were preaching he was, not what the Quran teaches. You just buried the Quran. Thank you for that.
IP literally can't track. The Quran says it was made to appear so, and that was only shed light on in the 7th century. So before it was shed light on, because God made it appear so, it was so, right?
All right, it's time for me to ask questions now. Can we actually go back because he's been rambling for like 10 minutes?
That's what I thought. Thank you very much. All right, you can ask your question.
Thanks for throwing Islam under the bus. I appreciate that. Okay, so again, when did the Roman Empire end, and how do you know it was 1453? What metric?
According to scholarship, it ended 1453. That's what mainstream historians say. I'm answering your question. Are you a historian, Mike Jones?
No, neither are you. But go on.
Oh, okay. That's exactly why we appeal to people who are experts, because we're not historians, right, Mike Jones? So according to mainstream historians, Rome was ended in 1453. But remember, Mike Jones, I'm not making the argument that according to Daniel, it must be fulfilled by the Ottomans destroying Rome. I don't even need that as a necessary condition, because all that Daniel needs is for Rome to be subjugated so much that Rome becomes not a world empire anymore.
Got it. So let's go on that. So the criteria now is what historians say. Are there any historians that specialize in Daniel that agree with your interpretation of Daniel? If they are now the criterion for determining truth, I guess we have to throw out your interpretation of Daniel then.
What's my interpretation of Daniel?
You think the stone is Islam, and no historians I can find say that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a good question. So when I appeal to historians on a specific point, it doesn't mean that I must accept the historian on every point. Why? Because I'm locally justified and independently justified by other means. Because you and I have certain theological presuppositions that we could use to interpret Daniel that the historian doesn't have epistemic access to.
Great. So can you justify it ending in 1453, or do you just not know?
Yeah, according to mainstream historical position, it ended in 1453, and I have no reason to doubt that that's the, I have nope. That's not what I said. I said I have nope. It just means that I have no reason. Mike, is it that Mike? Let me ask you this: is it the mainstream position that it was ended in 1453?
It's an arbitrary date set by historians. It's not actually based on an objective metric.
Didn't ask that. Then
the answer is
it the mainstream view? It's not the mainstream.
No, because there's no objective metric that they can use. No, you have to prove it. You're the one making the claim. This is about Muhammad in the Bible. We've been going for 20 minutes. You've given nothing.
And you're the one asking me about the Roman Empire. Now you don't want to talk about it anymore? All right.
No, that's what you brought up. Of course I have to talk about it.
So Mike Jones, according to this mainstream view, my interpretation follows, right?
No, it doesn't, because you're saying it's objective.
Well, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? What do you mean, no?
Are you going to actually respond, or are you going to just try to wear the clock down? Come on. Stay on topic, bro.
Again, the response to your question was the metric that is used is that the mainstream historians say that Rome ended in 1453. I have no reason to doubt that hypothesis. Therefore,
excellent.
The hypothesis, therefore, is the case.
Now our metric is what historians have to say, what experts have to say. There are no experts that agree with you on your interpretation of Matthew. There are no experts that agree with your interpretation of Daniel. Therefore, you just threw your entire argument under the bus. You just debunked yourself.
And how did I answer that, Mike Jones, when you asked me about that just now? Or are you not using your ears?
You got a double standard.
No, I don't, because I'm independently justified by other reasons, because I have a different epistemology. Do you have the same epistemology as secular historians, Mike?
In some areas, yes, I have to. Yeah, because they use basic facts,
but not entirely, right?
No. That doesn't have nothing to do with the topic, though. But you said your metric for ending the Roman Empire was what historians have to say. Then when I say, great, let's use that metric for other areas, you throw it out. You don't even bring it up. So
it's hard. Guys. It's hard to understand when you guys are talking over each other, man. Let's try to center in on. Let's try to get back on the topic and let's focus, man. It's hard to understand what you guys are saying.
Yeah, he's not being consistent because his only metric for deciding the end of the Roman Empire in 1453 is because historians say so. But he uses a completely different methodology for Daniel. It's not a consistent methodology.
You just said you don't have the same epistemology. Are you not tracking? You yourself admitted that you don't share the same epistemology. So I am justified in saying that, look, there's this historical event, there's this historical evidence, and because of this historical evidence, historians come to that conclusion. I have no reason to reject their hypothesis based on my established methodology and my established epistemology. So I have no reason, Mike, to think that Rome wasn't ended in 1403. And Mike, you didn't address that I don't need 1453 for the prophecy to follow, because according to Daniel, ending Rome doesn't have to be literally demolishing it in a specific metric that Michael Jones comes up with. All you need is, as long as it's done in the same manner that Babylon was done, Medo-Persia was done, and Greece was done. And remember, Mike, you said that now? What? I'm landing. You said it ended in 12 in the 1200s, right?
Okay, can I respond now?
Oh man,
are you done?
The time is yours.
Let me respond.
Go.
Yeah. Thank you. Finally, I get to actually talk.
Thank you for asking permission.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Okay. So by that logic, you can't say Islam ended the Roman Empire, because when it broke up into other pieces in the West, they never conquered that. And no, they didn't actually destroy it the way those other kingdoms did. Because again, the Roman Empire broke up. It was never fully conquered by the prior kingdoms, by your own metrics that you are using. But you're not even giving me a good metric for 1453. 1204 is a more definitive date. But if you want to keep going, you have to conclude that the Ottomans are the continuation of the Roman Empire, as they claimed, or that the Holy Roman Empire is the reformulation of the Western Roman Empire, and that ended in 1806 when Napoleon destroyed it. So you actually need to show something here, because by your own metrics, they did not actually destroy the Roman Empire or take over it like the prior kingdoms did. So this doesn't work for you. Islam does not fulfill Daniel 2 by that logic.
Okay, beautiful. So notice how Mike Jones didn't respond to what I said. Mike Jones, you said that it happened in the 1200s, right?
Yep, 1204, when the Latin Crusaders came in, broke it up, and then established their own empire. Yeah.
What's the metric?
So again, it's similar to what happened in the West. So
what's the metric?
Outside invaders. I'm telling you, outside invaders came in, they conquered Constantinople, and then it split into distinct kingdoms. The Latin Empire, the Despotate of Epirus, the Empire of Trebizond, and the Empire of Nicaea. Similar to happen in the West. If that's the continuation of the Roman Empire, the Western side continued on long past, and Islam never conquered it.
So Rome ended in the 1200s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what ended in 1453? Because something ended.
Yeah, the rump state called Nicaea.
The rump state?
Yeah, the rump state that retook Constantinople, kicked out the Latin Empire, and so
what was it? And what was it known as?
It was known as the Empire of Nicaea, and then they started calling themselves the Romans again.
Oh, okay. So it was known as the Romans, right? Byzantine Rome?
Yeah, the same as the Ottomans. They're known as Romans too.
Oh, okay, beautiful. So can you demonstrate that metric now that you used for the 1200s with the Medo-Persians and the Greeks?
No, because that's a different thing. They ended differently. That's my point. That's my whole point. That's my whole point, man. You're not even tracking with me. It's completely different.
Wow. Thank you so much, Michael Jones.
You don't get it, man. You don't get it, man. You don't get this at all.
I don't get it. Hey, man.
No.
Again, you're on your period again. So Michael Jones.
Wow. Listen to the insults, ladies and gentlemen.
Is the same?
Come on, guys. Let's chill. Let's chill on the insults. Just converse, man. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Why do you keep
He's getting emotional, man? That's why he has to keep insulting me, man. That's why he's getting so emotional.
Wow, I'm so emotional, Michael Jones. Can we please get back on topic?
Poor guy.
Yeah, I poor guy. Yeah. So the metric that is used for the 1200s, is it the same metric for the end of Babylon?
No.
Oh, okay. So Babylon didn't end?
It did end, yeah, when they were entirely conquered by the Medo-Persians.
So it is the same metric?
No, you're not actually answering my questions.
Oh,
okay.
No, don't run. No, don't run.
I'm not running. I want to keep talking about this.
So this is the metric that you use for the end of Rome in the 1200s, right?
It broke up into smaller kingdoms. Yeah, very different than the prior empires.
All right, beautiful. Did that happen with Babylon?
No, it's completely conquered by the Persians, so it's different. So how do you justify the stone doing the exact same thing?
Okay, beautiful. So one sec. You're saying that the end of Rome happened one way, and that constitutes its end, but that very end, what constitutes an end, didn't happen to Greece and the Medo-Persians, right?
They were completely conquered by prior empires, unlike the Roman Empire. So you still haven't given me your metric for 1453.
Doesn't Daniel say Rome will be divided?
Of course he does. Yeah, 395. It divided.
Oh, okay, but it's not specifically referring to 395, right?
That's what you've been saying for years. Now it's not.
What?
That's a weird argument. So now it doesn't divide in 395. So you're not changing your argument.
Can you answer the question, Mike?
No, you got to answer me because you've been saying that the split that Daniel talks about is 395. Answer that.
So I'll answer you, Mike. Yeah, I previously made the argument that the split specifically refers to 395. I no longer think so. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it's split in 395 into the Western and the Eastern. That's the only fact?
And Daniel speaking about 395 only?
No, yeah, because you have two legs. So according to that, you would have two legs, two split kind of thing. So that makes actual sense.
What about the toes?
No, then you have to. Oh, so you want to include the toes? You want to include the toes?
You do?
Wow,
okay.
Great.
So you
just conceded the point. You just conceded everything.
All right.
Okay, so what are the toes of the Western Roman Empire? What are the toes of the Western Roman Empire?
Don't panic.
What are the toes of the Western Roman Empire?
Don't panic. Don't panic now, Mike.
Tell me the toes. Come on, tell me what the toes are.
Don't panic. The toes refer to different divisions and different kings, as Daniel 7 says. So don't panic.
There will be a division in the Western and the Eastern one, right?
Don't panic.
A division in
the
you won't answer my question, guys. You won't answer my question. Notice this.
No, you won't answer my question. Daniel doesn't specify one division. Daniel just says the Romans will be divided. Some will be weak, or one part will be weak, and different parts will be strong. Different parts will be weak. They'll be strong and they'll be brittle. All right. So according to this, I'm justified in thinking that the Roman Empire will divide, unlike other empires. So now, please tell me, because I asked you earlier, under the view that it ended in 1453, does Islam fulfill that interpretation?
No. It does not. And I'll tell you why. It's quite simple. Because they did not claim to end it. They claimed to inherit it and continue on that empire. So did Russia. So did the Holy Roman Empire.
Can you show me where the Ottomans said that they're Romans and they thought they're Romans?
Yeah, it's from, I was going to read you this quote earlier and you panicked and wouldn't let me. Chris Wickham, Medieval Europe, Chapter 2, says East Rome, from then on, we call it the Byzantine Empire, not the Roman Empire. Although its inhabitants called themselves Roman until its end, continued on for another 1,000 years until the conquest of the last remnants of the Ottoman Turks in the 15th century. And then the Ottomans used some of the basic fiscal administrative structures of the Byzantine past in their own state building, focused on their new capital in Constantinople, now Istanbul. In some sense, then, the Roman Empire lasted until the First World War. So yes, you can also check out.
You just said,
Mike. Let me finish.
Mike, you said they themselves said that they are Romans, right?
He's running. Yep. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they said they were Romans.
I'm going to finish. You won't let me, man.
Yeah, finish. It's okay. The time is finished, but you can keep reading. Go ahead.
Is the time up, Marlon?
Yeah.
No, you can.
Time
it's okay.
Time is up.
It's okay. I give him permission to keep reading the quote. And I hope it's going to say that the Ottomans thought that they were Romans, that they were the Roman Empire.
Yeah, they did think that just like the Byzantines did.
All right. Can you? You said you're going to read it. Can you read it?
Okay. I got 3 more quotes here. Let's just read this one. Okay. Crap, I just actually lost my thing. So finally, by conquering Constantinople, the seat of the Roman emperors, the Ottomans asserted the title of Caesar. They refused to address the Holy Roman emperors as Caesars on the grounds that there could be only one Caesar on earth. Thus, they addressed Charles V simply as King of Spain and his successor Ferdinand as the King of Austria. This is in the book Holy Roman Empire and Ottomans, page 3, by Mehmet Sinan.
Where does it say that? So where are the Ottomans saying we are Romans? We are the Roman Empire?
They're calling themselves Caesars of Rome. How does that not resonate with you?
So calling yourself Caesar means you think you're a Roman?
Yes, it does.
All right,